Yeah. This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Let's go.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hi, Nat. Hamish Blake on the show today, Sean, remember?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Okay, great, thanks.
Cruising. It's back. And it's more dangerous than ever. We talk about why it's still not a good idea, even though apparently Scott Morrison said we're not in COVID anymore. The pandemic's passed.
When your partner didn't tell you about something very important, Nathan, like donating sperm, remember
The
that one?
surprising thing about this
Well,
is
you just
it
put it in my
wasn't you.
pocket, Sean, so I wasn't really donating. I didn't ask for
It's
it.
more to just deposit it.
This is Nathan, Nat and Sean.
I'm always looking for opportunities to show Megan, Sean's wife, that Sean isn't that bad.
You're really
Well,
good like
okay,
that.
this is
and
gonna
I
be a
do
stretch.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
I do
Jeez.
appreciate it.
All right.
You must be exhausted.
God, I was
So,
listening.
there is a woman who was wanting to conceive a child, didn't have a partner. She's actually asexual, so
Right.
she just wanted to have a kid by herself.
Yep, sure.
She was seeking to do this through IVF. So she hits up her friend that she used to go to school with. He's been a good mate of hers for her entire life. And then after a bit of conversation, he offers that his sperm
To be the
her
donor. Okay.
and says, you know what? At least you know my medical history.
Yes.
He goes, and she goes, oh, well, this seems great. She goes, you could be like the uncle and
Yes.
You know,
So did she want him to
No.
be the dad? No,
No.
she wanted to be the sole parent.
Yep.
He would waive his parental
Waive
rights,
all of
but
it.
be the donor.
Yep, and the
watch from
service
afar.
that they went through, they had all the
Wow.
legal documentation
Yes.
for that. He signed all that sort of stuff. On their way, she gets impregnated.
Yep.
So anyway, this friend who has donated his sperm to be the father, he is married, and he and his wife were invited out by the woman who's just conceived the children. And she's asked them out and said, I just want to say thank you to both of you. This is a wonderful dinner we're having.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for
For the
allowing
gift,
him
the gift
for
you've given me. Yeah.
fathering, for fathering my children. And then, because they're twins, by the way,
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
yeah, of course.
too. The wife goes, what?
He had failed to notify his wife that he
I
was.
thought he was donating his sperm.
So this
To a friend.
this girl brought out the couple to thank them as a couple, and then the wife did not have a clue that any of this happened.
Well, I would suggest
Sometimes
that,
it-
that
yeah.
the husband is a bit stupid, because wouldn't you think that if you're all going to be around one table,
Yeah.
that it might come up?
Yeah.
And that maybe you might, I don't know,
No.
warn the woman you donated to?
No. He's not worried about it coming up. He didn't think he did anything wrong. He didn't see the big
Right.
deal.
So he didn't.
Sorry, you what?
He didn't see the big deal with it because he'd signed all those parental rights
Yes.
away. It
But
wasn't
it's
going to
nice
cost
to
him any money.
mention it to your wife.
He's probably like a money person. You know what I mean? Like if it's not costing us anything, why do you
Yeah.
bother?
What are you worried about?
Why are you bothered?
Yeah, hell,
now the
you're
wife's
half of
freaking
creating
out.
a human being with
Yes.
your friend.
Oh, two twins.
Two, yeah.
So the wife's freaking out because they've already got children. She goes, but
Yes.
this now throws a thing into play that
It
they've
does.
now got. Like
Yes.
stepsisters. My
Yes.
children have got steps,
Yes.
like half sisters.
Yeah.
And then like the dad was like, no, but I've signed a paper. I've
Yeah.
signed a document. It's fine.
So in his mind, it was a clear-cut transaction that once
Yes.
it was done, it was over. And
Did
there was
not need to be
nothing-
discussed
yeah.
with his wife. It didn't need
Sean,
to be
as a
discussed
married
with his
man-
wife.
Oh my God, Nat! I would
you
find
imagine?
it hard to get that one over the line. Oh, geez, I'd sell it hard, but God, it'd be hard to get over the line.
Yeah.
God, it's a human being you created.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You're
That's
not
right.
just lending the lawnmower.
Don't ever lend Sean a lawnmower. You'll never
that's
get
right,
it
you
back.
never get it back.
No,
You'll
the
never get it
whippersnippers
back.
will
You'll
do
need
it.
to sign some legal
He sues for
documentation.
custody. I know someone who bought a farm and didn't tell his wife until the deal was done.
What?
Yeah. And they lived in a country town, and she was like, what do you mean you've bought a farm? And it's like, yeah, we're moving to the farm. And off they moved to the farm.
That's a TV
She
show
was
called The
filthy.
Farmer Tells His Wife.
Eventually.
It's all these guys buy farms and tell their wives on camera and watch them flip
Once
out.
the deal is done. They
Yeah.
don't like it.
Book smarter these holidays.
With whatif.com, you can book everything for your trip all in one place.
Plus, select hotels are fully refundable. Booking cancellation windows apply. Make up for missed holidays with What If? It's Aussie for travel. Check government advisories before booking and travelling.
Ladies, imagine if your husband agreed to father a child with one of his friends, or two children, because they were twins actually,
Yep.
by being a sperm donor.
Yep. Went through with it. She got pregnant, and how you found out was that woman took you and your partner out for dinner to thank you, and then she said, "Thank you so much for letting your husband impregnate me."
And she went,
What?
Yeah,
So
who?
things that could have been a conversation before they took place. That's what we're talking about.
Hello, Tash.
Hi guys, how you going?
Hey, good, Tash.
Tash sounds impressed.
What happened, Tash?
Well, the week that we got married, my husband told me that he'd resigned from his job and he'd enrolled in full-time Microsoft certified engineering training, and could I please pay for that because he'd quit his job.
Oh, I do.
Wow. So, Tash, it was the week you were getting married or just after you got married?
No, before we got married, so
How
I
stressful
could
was the week
apply for
anyway?
a personal loan in my maiden name because I was not married.
So how did that conversation go?
It's been a long conversation. It was 24 years ago, but
Yeah.
I still don't forget it.
So you're still together?
Yeah,
Is he making a fortune now because of that course that he did?
yeah, kind of.
Yeah, okay.
Oh,
so
okay.
it was a
Well, there you
long-term
go.
investment.
Tash is calling from her jet.
But it would have been nice to know
commitment.
beforehand.
Oh,
wouldn't it?
imagine if you had failed.
I know.
You would never live that down.
Oh, my God. Thanks, Tash. Cindy is in Connolly. Hello, Cindy.
Hi, how are you?
Hello,
Okay,
Cindy.
Well, he's now my husband. At the time, he was my boyfriend. We were living together, renting together. He was house hunting and didn't think he was too serious about it, but obviously he was, because he went and viewed a house with his mother and put an offer in and purchased it without me even seeing it.
Oh, I hear this happening a lot.
Well, and was it to be in your name as well?
It was only in his name,
Okay.
but I was paying the rent as well. So
Yeah.
I was obviously helping towards the mortgage.
Yeah.
And, it was a whole of a house. It smelled like cat pee, and I walked in the house and I cried.
Did
I'm
you?
not surprised.
Oh, no. So did it end up, was he right at the end? Did it end up being a good move?
It was, yeah. I must give him credit for that. He got it at a really good price. We gutted it, did a massive refurb job on it, and we sold it for probably, I think, 3 times more than what we bought it for.
God, so imagine what happens
Well,
when
you
you
know,
have that cat pee.
yeah.
And that's, you know what?
And he's forgiven.
Hey, that's
Forgiven for
really
it.
great. That's really great that it turned out that way. But sort of, it's bad for you because then he's established the fact that he never has to ask you about anything
Yeah,
because
because remember that time I was right about the house?
his decisions pan out. So that's it's a double-edged sword, really, isn't it?
How long have you
for
been
that.
married, Cindy?
Oh, gosh, we've been married 15 years
Yeah.
and together for 22.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So,
on you guys.
yeah.
But there's still the faint smell of cat pee, isn't there, Cindy? Just about the whole thing.
My nostrils.
Thanks, Cindy. Let's go to Kim in Wellard.
Hey,
G'day,
kid.
hello.
Hi, guys.
All right. Did your partner do something without telling you?
Yeah, so my partner of 4 years at the time, he decided he wanted to move over east, didn't tell me, got a job, a house, booked the flight, and then sat me down and said, I'm moving over east. And I was like, oh, okay.
So wait there. I'm moving, not we're moving. I'm moving.
Yeah, he was moving. He was just him.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, well, what does that mean for us? He's like, oh, long distance.
Oh,
So I was like, oh, okay. We did try long distance for a couple of months, but it didn't work, so we ended up breaking up. But yeah,
Do you
not
think he
even-
was just trying to break up with you and but too much of a coward to actually do it, and then so went long distance so it petered out?
Look, mate, maybe. He did end up moving back to Perth after like 6 months or so because it didn't work out. He tried to get back together, but no way.
Yeah.
You just packed up and just said, well, I'm
That's
out of
not
here.
cool.
With everything.
Well, I mean, because that
That's
means,
weird,
I mean,
man.
I think there was a problem with communication there.
In what way?
Intimacy.
In the fact that he didn't tell her anything.
The Nathan, Nat and Sean podcast.
Time to catch up with our good friend Stevie Butler. Writes all the great articles for the West Australian, as we know. Stephen, come on in.
Good morning, people. How are we?
Hi, good
Steve.
Stephen.
Enjoy the weekend, my friend.
Oh, enjoy. That's a stretch.
Oh,
I was a bit miserable yesterday watching Essendon, and it started with the pre-game entertainment. Did you see that?
We're actually having a discussion about this earlier on because I think the Dockers pre-game Anzac Day tribute was better than what we saw at the MCG.
No doubt. Now, whoever thinks that Lime Cordial was the right band to be playing yesterday in the pre-game, can you imagine the old diggers having a pony with a dash.
Yeah.
Thinking that would be a good thing to be entertaining.
Yeah.
I've never really
who does
gotten
the entertainment and think that would be a good thing for
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never
Get grungy and bogan and put the rock out there for God's sake.
Yeah.
I've never gotten the lime cordial thing.
I think they're okay. Like their music's okay, but it is not an
Name a song.
entertainment.
Name a song.
Said everyone. Mate.
There's a one word, they played it yesterday, I nearly had it, but it wouldn't quite hit me.
No.
Well, you're right. How does that go? How does that go with Anzac Day and the Diggers?
Yeah.
Lime cordial.
It doesn't. What does is Hunters and Collectors or Jimmy Barnes or something like, or Noise John Stevens, or get some Australian rock.
Yeah, Jack Vidgen.
Rocking the place. Like they come out and
Yeah.
and then everyone's going, what?
You have Jack Vidgen on one stage, his teeth on the other.
Yeah.
Actually, I reckon Jack Ginnivan could have worn one of those outfits from Lime Cordial and really just taken it off out there with his blonde shock of hair. But he was brilliant. I mean, I like a bit of character, and he's got it.
Yeah, hasn't he just?
We saw it with Jack Higgins on Friday night as they killed her.
Yep.
Doing the flexes with no muscles and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
And then you see a little bloke with blonde hair just absolutely tearing.
Oh, is that Draco Malfoy looking guy?
Yes, super blonde.
Yeah, so he keep the 5 and
got the
he's
medal.
bit out there, the dude.
Yeah,
bit out there. So
And he's just a bogan.
The last person to kick five goals in the Anzac Day clash, guess who? Yes, I'm going to ask you.
I'm going to ask me.
So Stephen just.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know who you were asking. It's a visual joke, is it?
Yes.
Paul Medhurst.
Yeah, he was clearly pointing at Sean. I mean, at Nathan.
right.
Did you
Pointing
not
at
see
Nathan
that?
because Meadows used to be a part of our team here.
Yes.
Yes, I loved Meadows. He had such a twisted sense of humour.
An unusual cat.
Yeah.
So I think the bloke who kicked the 5 yesterday is a fairly unusual cat too.
Yeah.
He at one point when he was giving the finger to the lips, shushing the Essendon crowd, I thought, this boy's got some balls, and it's good to see because that's what you want. You want some character, and it's all been bashed out of everyone.
Yeah, no doubt about
that's
it.
true.
Steve, I mentioned the Wildcats this morning, and I mentioned them last Friday. That could be on the edge of missing out here. And I'm only bringing this up. I got no doubt the Wildcats will bounce back, and they'll surely get it right in the the near future because that's what their history suggests. But Nick Marvin, former CEO of the Cats, he put out a tweet on Friday. Nat was showing me. Nat, what did it say exactly?
It said the fish rots from the head.
Oh.
Seemed a bit pointed, didn't it?
Well, they were certainly, talking of strange cats, they were unrecognisable from the Wildcats that we know because of all the things. Now, look, I'm no coach basher or player basher because the Wildcats have given me a great deal of pleasure over a great deal of time, but you've got to look at it and say honestly what you see. And as a basketball head and former coach, I can see lots. And the Wildcats have very poor help defence. They just let players, opposition,
unbelievable,
waltz down the middle of the keyway unaided, unhindered, I should say. And then when they come down and I tell you what the Wildcats of old would have done when they were under that extreme pressure late in the piece. They would have gone to, Damian Martin would have taken him into a very tight, acute offensive structure where they would have got Bryce Cotton free and got him a shot. Now, I saw the other night, not in the last game, the second last game, going down the stretch, Matt Hodgson runs over to set a screen for Bryce Cotton and then just runs away from it, doesn't even set it, leaving Bryce Cotton to beat 2 players. And then Michael Frazier, steps under Bryce Cotton's man to open himself up for a pass to shoot the final 3 rather than setting the screen for the best player to shoot the final shot. And the other thing is, it tells you they've got no offensive structure when they're hitting 10 three-pointers from 41 attempts.
Yeah.
But you've got to go into your structure and actually play
and take it to the hole.
down-to-earth Wildcats basketball, and that's what they lack. They didn't have it. Now, that might be the lack of synergy with only 1 year under Coach Scott Morrison, and that may come. So let's just hope that they can get down and do the basics right because no one wants to bash the Wildcats. We all love them. I mean, they built that RAC arena with the Red Army that gives one of the most special sporting experiences in Australia, no doubt.
Yeah. Well, Anthony Albanese has said that under him they would have won.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, but who would have coached the final game, though, while he was in
quarantine?
Zoom, mate. Zoom does one.
Penny Wong would have done it,
I just feel really bad for these guys.
Wong, she'd be pretty vicious on defence.
I reckon she would, yes.
I just feel really bad for these guys because we've been talking about not wanting to be part of the team that stops the winning streak, and I mean,
it's
happened. And it was always a bit of a joke because I never thought it was going to happen.
No, you often said it to Nordo or Jesse
just as a literally
like, just throw it. Yeah.
That's not going to happen because you guys always come through with the goods.
Yeah,
you could. you can see the reality that sunk in at the end, couldn't you, with Bryce Cotton and Jesse Wagstaff? You could just see in their faces, wow, it's happened to us. We're the ones.
Yep.
And, if that can't drive you forward, nothing can. But at the same time, if you're a Perth Wildcats fan, you've got to stick with them because they've given you an enormous ride.
Yes.
It's the greatest professional sporting run of consecutive playoffs in the world ever.
Yeah, and they're going to hold that record for a while.
Yeah. And they will. And, no one will surpass it probably. I can't see what professional organisation could beat that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you've got to tell the truth about what's there in front of you. And those little things that made the Wildcats great, the 1%ers, the gnarliness, it left the building. And that left the building with a few fans too, which is a bit disappointing.
Yeah, no doubt about it. No doubt the Wildcats, as I said, will bounce back. They normally get it right. But
they rebound?
No defense. Yeah. Well played, man. No defense, no forward structure.
You did
a lot to work on.
Yeah.
Steve, thank you as always. We won't get into the West Coast Eagles. They need a day off.
Oh, yeah, don't kick them while they're down.
I
heard they did really well. Let's just leave it at that.
Port Adelaide
they kicked a goal early.
I will say on the West Coast,
very early.
The good part West Coast did for Port Adelaide is to get their season going. Sometimes you just need an early kill.
I think, to be fair, Carlton got their season going when they gave up an almost 50-point lead. And still just got over them. But, so close.
Thanks, Steve.
Just got them in enough form to play West Coast.
Exactly. Thank you. Good on you, Steve.
Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Now, I've always wanted to do one of these, and then when COVID hit, it was the last place on earth to be. And then just recently, this industry has opened back up.
Yeah, fantastic news.
Surprisingly, when they started selling tickets to cruises, we were blown away because it was still during the depth of COVID.
Love cruises,
and we were going, why do people
They
want to
do.
be on the sick ship?
Well, none of us have been on the sick ship or a ship like that in that sense, but everyone who goes on it always talks
I don't know about everyone, but there is a core of people that are repeat offenders.
I like the idea of it. I like being in a hotel room and then when you wake up, you're in a different destination. I think there's something really magical
cool.
in that. I like the fact that I could go and watch a magician. Someone do like ice skating.
Yes.
You know, like
Kate Sobrano singing some tunes.
Yes, go on the Gravitron.
Yep.
While you're on the seas.
You're on a boat that
would you prefer a small, intimate one where you get to know? You want the massive mega ship that like sailing out of Florida kind of thing.
I want the mega ship.
The huge Carnival cruise kind of thing.
Yeah. So anyway, we've always wondered, especially since it got such a bad rap about when the COVID situation, the Ruby Princess and stuff happened.
Diamond Princess.
Who would do it? Well,
all the princesses.
It's all happening. There is cruise ships back, and now there's been another outbreak on board of one of the first cruise ships that allowed back in the state. There is one that is docked at Broome, and there is an undisclosed number of positive cases, and all the passengers and close contacts are isolating, and the crew and the passengers are being tested.
It's not even that big a ship as well.
The Coral
72
Discovery.
passengers.
Yeah.
72, okay.
So it came from Darwin.
Yeah.
It's a 10-day cruise from Darwin.
So if we cannot do a 10-day cruise with 72 people from Darwin, what the hell is going to happen with the sky of the seas or whatever, the ocean of the seas or the
symphony of
the symphony of the coast or whatever these big ships are going to do.
5,000 people on there.
I know.
Yeah.
I don't see how it's ever going to get better.
That's 3 people in a dinghy.
Yeah.
And you can't make it work.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh.
I don't see how it's ever going to be anything different.
And because you can imagine up at Broome, there's just like 4 people with sticks pushing it back out to sea, can't you? Like they don't want it there. I know. Like they have a small hospital.
Yeah.
That's the last thing.
Remember when we went to that event on that cruise ship?
Yes.
We went to this event.
I often think about that. So it was one of the TV stations was hosting us on one of the fancy decks at this thing,
and it was amazing just to be out. We got a tour through it. No, it really was. The nightclub was the funniest thing. You go into the nightclub and there's music pumping, and then there's just a table full of old people having a cup of tea. And that was so funny.
Just people waiting around for the buffet to open. And it's like,
we found out. That's when we found out for sure that they've got a morgue on the
because
ship.
Asked.
Because people will book. People that are late in life will just book a cruise around the world for every year and just like die on the ship. And then also the funniest thing was there's like you think of all the gift shops and stuff. One of the stores there is antiques. like you're going to buy a China hutch while you're on holidays. And then the escalators, there was all these escalators going in every direction. And it just looked like, and there was just every single person on the escalator was an old person. It just looked like their stairway to heaven.
Yeah.
The ones coming down, we know they're going.
That was it. I'm like, no, I never want to go on one of these things ever.
I was amazed by it. I'd go on it because everyone would be going, God, you're so young. And I go, no,
Look at him in his
little
functioning
whippersnapper.
You're listening to Nathan, Nat and Sean.
It's really great when you get friends from the country come to the big city, Perth, and then you go and do things in your own city, which you never would normally do.
Oh, 100%.
Oh, so you've been playing tourist.
Yeah, so my mate Popey and his family were up on last week, and then on Friday we went out for lunch, and then afterwards his Asher, his daughter who just turned 18, is thought, I don't want to just go home now.
Well, she wanted to go clubbing with you because famously she'd heard from Mark McGowan that you love the nightclubs, Nathan.
Yeah, she did want to go night clubbing with me. But the funny thing is, when I went around there to go to their house before we went out for lunch, she was asleep in bed, and I just thought that's 18.
Yeah,
you know when you're 18 and you just always want to sleep for some reason.
Well, except in the middle of the night because that's when you go clubbing.
Oh, my teenagers don't get out of bed until 11.
Oh my God! So getting her up and she out of this slumber, and then we went out for lunch, and then afterwards we thought, okay, well let's go to Karrinyup Shopping Centre. We went to Archie Brothers, which is where all those games are. You know, that sort of fun lab situation. We did virtual reality while there. So one of them is where you shoot these zombies and you're all sitting in a chair. Another one's where it straps it to your head. And I swear to God, if you have motion sickness, this game is unbelievable. So it's like a roller coaster game, and you feel like you're actually on a roller coaster. I never thought that VR was any good like that.
Oh my God, yeah, it's brilliant.
But the best thing was, while we were there was a couple of kids, and there's a giant claw skill tester machine that grabs they're like big circular rings, which has the amount of tickets are on there. So there was one that was 500 tickets, and there was one that was 150 tickets that was just teetering on the edge. Remember when we used to do it when we were younger, you bang a machine until it fell? Yeah. These two kids banged the machine, and they won 650 tickets right before our eyes. It was unbelievable.
What does that buy you, a key ring?
I don't know. Natalie, that'll buy you half a Milky Way. But it was just amazing to see that.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
So after lunch, we'd had lunch, and then this is the cutest thing, and Natalie will know this from Esperance. Esperance doesn't have a KFC.
No, that's true.
So when
and these people are from Esperance.
Yeah, when Esperance people come to the city, KFC is the best thing ever. So Asher
even if we go to Kalgoorlie, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, and if anyone from Kalgoorlie is coming to Esperance,
they take a bucket.
You must bring a bucket.
Yeah, like not a bucket. Your back seat will be full of buckets of chicken for everyone there, and then people you'll meet them at a local park and just start dishing it out to people like you're a charity. So Asher had already eaten lunch, so she'd eaten a burger, a chips, and then I think Lockie, her brother, didn't want his burger, so she ate his burger as well. When we finished at Archie Brothers, which would have been about an hour and a half after lunch, Asher starts pleading to her dad if she can get KFC because she hasn't had it yet. And her dad said no. So once we got back to
She's 18. House, she's an adult. She can do what she likes.
She doesn't have a car. So once we go back to my house, I go back to their house. I jump in the car and I take her back down there and get her a chicken fillet burger because that's what you need to do for country kids now.
Well, you have to.
So she just slammed the chicken fillet burger after that. And that's another thing when you're 18 too.
Yes.
You can eat anything.
You've got a metabolism.
You sleep all day, can eat anything and don't get fat.
Those are absolutely the days.
You horrendous generation.
Nathan, Nat and Sean in podcast form.
Are your kids back today, Sean?
One or two of the three, but I'll just say to all the parents out there, remember it's a change of seasons because now they go from the summer uniform to the winter. There'll be heaps caught out.
If you're at a fancy private school,
we just put on our rags at public schools. Put on your winter rags at the public schools.
No, it's winter blazer time, everybody.
It's the same extension cord that you tie your pants up with, so don't worry about that.
Use the winter bit of string as a belt.
Watch your skirts, the lengths of your skirts. It could be an issue.
I mean, good luck finding matching socks.
Oh, got to dig out the winter top hat. Oh, no.
This is a podcast of Nathan, Nat and Sean.
Lego Masters, great show, going great guns. The host, none other than Hamish Blake, joins us now. Hi, Ham.
Morning to you guys. How are you?
We're wonderful, Ham. Absolutely wonderful.
You know what? Back in the day, a Lego store in your city would be a novelty, but I feel like Lego Masters has made it a legitimate place to go. Thoughts about your building the Lego empire in Australia?
Yeah, well, they've been struggling for years.
Love the head of Lego to be listening to this. And to acknowledge that I've single-handedly helped create the brand.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, though, like, Lego, now that I've, working at Lego Masters, obviously, I've learned a lot about Lego over the years. But you look back at, like, when I was growing up in the 90s, like, I remember there would be, like, once a year, there would be, like, a Lego exhibition. But there was no Lego stores. Like,
No,
there was
not standalone.
It was a corner of the toy shop, basically.
Yeah, it was. You could just find a few boxes here and there. So I remember clearly going to, like, the Lego exhibition as a kid, seeing what was probably not even that big a build, but thinking it was the greatest thing that I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And then pestering mum and dad for the rest of the year to get a Lego box. Now I am surrounded by Lego. So I guess that was training.
For this moment.
That was me training for this moment.
Yeah.
And now,
I'll tell you what, the builds that we keep seeing are unbelievable. So last night when you started the show and we saw 200 hours that the Brickman put into that boat, which is crazy. And then what the guys keep coming up with, it is amazing to see the levels every single season.
Yeah, it is. It does blow me away. I always just fall into that trap of being like, well, that's it, we're done. Like, after every season, like, well, you can't get better than that. But somehow, I think it's a great testament to the contestants, because they're like, they've seen all the previous seasons, so they know, like, all right, well, I can't build something that's been seen before. I got to kind of just push the envelope a little bit, and lo and behold, they do keep pushing it. It's awesome.
All right, so the amount of people that apply for this show. How many years into we're tapped out of talented Lego people? Because it's not like cooking. It's not like singing. This is a specific skill set. That
it is a legitimate question.
Yes.
It's not, and it's not one you can easily pick up. Like, you can't. But we do. Well, I will say this: we've got great contestants on the show that admitted, like, at the end of the season, and a lot of them went really deep into the season. So, like, man, I never would have thought. Like, I just didn't think I was good enough. And you do get a lot better on the show. Like, people, you see their skill improve, and you see it even, and they're starting off at a great level, but you see it get even bigger and better. And a lot of people are sort of saying that they weren't expecting to be building something at that level. So, I will say that you have just being a creative person really helps, and you could get better at Lego. But yes, to your point. There's not thousands. There's not thousands.
Are we going to have to start importing them?
We might just nick a few from the American version.
Well, why not?
We do have. I did have someone the other day go, it is all like come on maths and stuff, and they weren't really after a relationship. They just wanted to be famous. Do you reckon that could happen? Is happening on Lego Masters? I was like, geez, pretty complicated con to teach yourself Lego and get so good at it, and then at the end turn around and go, I didn't like Lego, I just wanted to be famous.
Yeah, I did the Instagram followers.
Yeah, that's right, I want some teeth whitening.
Yeah.
What about some sort of blend of matchmaking and Lego building?
Yeah, right, to get to the next round, you must marry one of the other contestants.
Yes.
Well, if you're throwing
I'm guessing a lot of them are single.
I haven't seen the whole season yet. So I can't get what happens next week.
God, if you're throwing a sad story, we've got it all covered there.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Haim, it has been outstanding so far, as usual. When we're doing so for example, you're doing 8-hour builds, 10-hour builds, and we get up to the final, you're going for 15 days in a row. Do you have a quarter-time, half-time break along the journey where you just pause the clock and everyone gets a, regroup?
You do. I mean, people sort of wonder about that a lot. Every couple of hours. I mean, just under the Geneva Convention, I think we need to let people go to the toilet and have some food and water.
They should have to build the toilet. Make a working toilet out of Lego.
That may can contravene the Geneva Convention.
but also write that down, Hamish. Pass it on to the producers.
Yeah, that's next week. We do. We do. Obviously, there's food, there's drink breaks. So some builds, the long builds, like it is paused. Like a 16-hour build, they'll go over 2 days.
Right.
People can actually, rest.
But you're still allowed to whip them, right?
Are you there all the time? Are you there the whole time?
Yeah, I'm out the back. I'm wandering around. So I have a secret door, like one of the panels on the side.
I'm sorry, can you imagine his green room?
Yeah.
There is massage chair.
Bloody. It is just tons of snaps out the back. But sometimes I tell kids, I'm like, yeah, they're like, do they get to eat? And like, we put there's like a big cage of food up above the lights that you can't see, and we tell them if they build good, they can get food at the end. The kids are like, oh my God, that's so cruel. Guys, honestly, bail that out. But the final build each season is 26 hours, I think, or 28 hours.
Yeah.
And that's when I think people begin to go, you must give these people breaks.
Yes.
Although I have explained, I've said to people, no, we shoot it all in one day. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah, 26 hours. We get it all done.
We get it all in one day.
Yeah, I'd fall for
great
that.
job.
Like, wow, that's a long day. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, and you can bend time.
I want to talk about one of the couples in particular, and that is, I can't remember her name. She just got kicked off just recently.
Crystal Andrew.
The cos chick, the cosplaying chick, and the photographer. Now, that's an unlikely friendship. And I feel like there's never been a thing that she has asked that guy to do that he hasn't done for her. for free. Now, what do you think?
Friends are great, and they will always help each other out.
That guy is just waiting in the wings. She's dangling an invisible carrot in front of him.
He's never gonna catch.
He's taken every photo of her that's ever existed. She's never given him a cent.
Or anything else.
Is that accurate?
Yes, it is.
I can't speak with any authority on that, but as I said, it is great to have friends.
Very, very platonic friends.
Yes, it's great to have a hot female friend that always just promises in the future one day something might happen.
Just got to stick out until she drops a card.
We love it.
Yeah, it's great.
It's been great, mate. It's good fun.
You're so good at it too, Hamish, I've got to say.
I do have a ball, and with my platonic friend Brickman, we have a great time.
There's definitely something going on there.
Well, he said one day something will happen.
The sexual tension there is very palpable.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Hamish. Talk again soon.
See you guys. Bye.
Cheers, bye.
Nathan, Nat and Sean is a Nova podcast. For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcasts.com.au.